It's just after 6 a.m., February 11, 2021, in Fort Worth, Texas. Black ice coats the roadway in the toll lanes of Interstate 35.
Holy
More than 130 cars collide.
Oh my gosh.
A semi hauling a FedEx load crashed into the pileup, killing Tiffany Jarrett and Mike Wells.
I remember getting the call, and it came up on my screen, Tarrant County, and they said, "This is so-and-so from the medical examiner. I have your daughter here with me."
The company responsible for moving that FedEx load was Iso Rizzo. Iso Rizzo's owner, Umajan Kadaroff, testified he'd started the company less than a year before the crash. He said he bought an existing motor carrier registration from another trucker.
You set up your business out of your home?
Correct. And everything was ready just to operate.
6 months after the crash, Iso Rizzo shut down.
Mr. Kadaroff had testified under oath in our deposition over and over that he was not involved in any other trucking companies.
You have no motor carrier authority, correct?
Correct.
But Kadaroff had set up another company in his wife's name.
How about Van Mar?
Van Mar, yes.
That's your wife's motor carrier,
Correct.
isn't it, sir?
Yes, she owns it, but different people run it.
He simply put it under a straw name, and he admitted that he was the head of the operations running that trucking company.
That company, Vamar, at one point reported having more than 300 trucks and drivers.
Clearly, he had shifted all resources over to Van Mar, and Van Mar was starting to build up into a much larger trucking company.
They're called chameleon carriers. It's a trucking company that shuts down after major safety problems. Think failed inspections, serious crashes, or losing its insurance, then reappears under a new name. And yes, that's illegal under federal law.
It's just repeating history over and over again.
Almost 2 years after the Fort Worth pileup crash, the roads are icy near Rawlins, Wyoming. A pickup truck pulling a trailer has jackknifed across I-80. Dashcam video from a semi shows it hitting the trailer.
And he couldn't brake, and then he smacked into the trailer.
Brian Perez was a passenger in the semi.
And then the ambulance, they parked like right there.
EMT Tyler Harris and another EMT had arrived at the scene.
The ambulance comes out, EMT, they're like, "Oh, you guys need any like medical attention or anything?" And I was like, "No, I'm okay."
Dashcam video from that first semi captured what happened next. The 18-wheeler operated by a Vamar driver smashed into the back of the ambulance.
Really aggressively, like at a really high speed.
The impact killed Harris and left another EMT severely injured. EMTs Shayna Romero and Kyle Warren worked with Tyler.
It didn't feel real when we walked into the ER that day. The first thing that I stopped to think about was his kids.
You driver of this?
The driver of the Vamar truck was Saviel St. Jean. He had gotten his commercial driver's license that year.
Can you tell me what happened?
And I tried to avoid the light, and I go straight to the ambulance.
In 2025, a jury found St. Jean guilty of vehicular homicide, aggravated assault, and not moving over for an emergency vehicle. He was sentenced to up to 14 years in prison on Friday. Records show Vamar was involved in at least 2 more fatal crashes. In 2025, the company lost its insurance, effectively shutting it down. Could the accident in Wyoming have been prevented?
Absolutely. If there was a better system in place to track not just the companies, but the people, the leadership, and the ownership behind these trucking companies, then yes, that could have been prevented.
I feel like Tyler was meant for EMS.
More than 3 years later, his death is still a painful reminder of what a semi can do in seconds.
They're massive, and you don't realize the kind of damage that they can do.
This was just part of Tanya's investigation. You can watch the entire special on demand right now on WFAA Plus, free to download to your TV.